It's our natural and our cultural history that helps to define who we are as people. You know, we're all products of our family, our genetic background, but also our identity is formed by the people we grow up with, our parents and our siblings, our neighbors and friends, but also the environment we grow up in. These things become a part of our life, and we're not thinking about that when it happens, but they help define who we are. And then we go away, and when we come home, if one of those big old buildings is gone, then a piece of us has disappeared with that. Well, my name's Tom O'Grady, and I'm the director of the Southeast Ohio History Center. And there's a number of things that come with this responsibility. We have to come up with exhibits that appeal to the public. We organize programs, activities, and events for the public. And we have to do fundraising and build our membership and various different responsibilities that come along with running a museum. I'm mostly motivated by the history of this region, and so I spent 25 years in the environmental community, starting a recycling program and really talking about the connection between our consumer behavior and the environment and our public health. And in the time I was doing a lot of cleanup in this region, I learned a lot about the history of the region, and that's how I got involved in that. And I get pretty passionate about the things I get involved in, and so the history of this region is so inspiring if you know it. It's easy to come down here to Southeast Ohio and go to school and go uptown to the bars or whatever and leave town without really having learned about the history of this region. And I found myself I came here also to go to graduate school, but I spent a lot of time outside the city of Athens, and that's where I got my real education. And I learned about the natural environment, I learned about the canals, I learned about farming in this region, strip mining of the coal. I learned about the forests and fields and landfills and everything that's out there. It all is connected one way or another to the local and state and national economy.
This museum is unique in that we are the premier center for all things history and heritage of the Southeast, the Appalachian Ohio region. And we work tirelessly to collect and display various artifacts and information regarding that history and sharing it with the people of the region and many who come from out of the region. Our curator, Jessica Siders, she works on putting all those up along with Cyrus Moore, our in-house military historian. He put up the 3,000 Miles from Home Southeast Ohioans in the First World War exhibit back there. As you could see here, this is a case detailing some personal items of Philip Morris Schloss, a person from the region who fought in World War I. Cyrus Moore, our military historian, he went out and talked to the relatives of all these various people who we have these effects from, and got the information, got their uniforms, and all their belongings that you would see here. You can see here a reproduction of a World War I nurse's uniform. We partnered with a very talented seamstress in the area to look at old photographs and patterns.
Well, the library genealogy section here at the History Center, we have a lot of local history books. Let's see, we have cemetery records so people can find out where their ancestors are buried. A lot of people come in here to the History Center because they're searching out their family history. And it's very good for people whose family is from Athens County. But it's also a good place to come here and get an introduction to how to do that kind of research on your own family, no matter where you're from.
It's more so we just get people coming in, they want to know their family story just for their personal sake because they're curious, want to find out where they came from and stuff like that.
One of the things we're finding is that many of the people who come in here no longer live in Athens County, so we're serving people all over the country because they're coming back to find their roots here.
That it's not set up right. If you want something that sounds like music, that's let me play something different. All right, you'll notice I'm going to change the buttons for this. Wait a minute, I can't put that there. So this is all preset for what it sounds like. Well, I kind of came around to playing the organ. I started playing piano when I was 5, and then I went into piano and singing, and I went to Boston University where I majored in voice and piano. And then I just kind of picked up the organ in order to get jobs to make some money, and so I've kind of self-taught on the organ, and I've been here a couple years. I come from New England, so.
Right. Okay, that's great. What were your key kind of experiences for when you were learning?
To play the organ?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing is you have to play your feet in addition to your hands. So that's one thing. Then there's more than one keyboard. So, you have to kind of go between the keyboards. And then there's all kinds of different sounds on the organ. So you have to adjust the sound to what you're playing and so forth. And every organ is different. So you can't just go from one to another. You have to learn it. Let me show you this. Here's one sound on it. Okay. And that's just a one keyboard and just a couple of the sounds on it. There's every one of these pistons here has a different sound. I'm playing that with my foot. And so forth. So you have to work all of that into what you're playing.
We have too many artifacts here, and they don't do anybody any good down here. So we have an old switchboard telephone system with the cords in it that you plug in.
Right.
Way back, probably close to 100 years old.
Wow.
It's right now, it's on display at the Kennedy Museum,
Right.
but I'd like to get those two things on display out in Coolville, maybe at the Coolville Library, and start getting some of this stuff out of this building and put it on remote exhibits out in the county. People do want to know this stuff, and in many cases they just don't know they want to know it. And so if we can present it in a way that touches them or is exciting to them, then they'll make that connection. And that's one of our challenges, as to how do you make history exciting.
Funny enough, before I was never really actually interested in history, but after, working at medieval fairs and then, coming here, it's really been growing on me as a topic. And I'm amazed at how much I've learned about it just working here, even though I don't work with the artifacts myself. I've picked up so much information on history working here, and it really has given me an appreciation for it.
And it's not about telling people a bunch of names and dates and places. It's about telling stories. And so our goal is to try and find out what the history of this region is and put it into stories that excite people and move people and get them to become involved. And the more people that get involved, the more likely we'll preserve more of our own heritage.